Grief is a universal experience based on love. If we didn't love anyone, there would be no grief about them. So I knew that in some ways my journey was also your journey. My story is somewhat your story, if not now, perhaps in the past, perhaps in the future. But we each grieve in our own way, based on probably so many variables, our personalities, our astrological signs, our families we grew up in, and so some parts of my story will be different from yours, and my story will be different if I had waited another 6 months to talk about grief. This is it today. From my personal viewpoint, I think it has been helpful for me to explore the depths of my grief, and as a Scorpio, I go deeply into everything anyway, but perhaps I went even more deeply knowing that I would be sharing it with you. Richard always assumed that he would pass before me. Men often pass before women, but I was not at all convinced, and he had more illnesses, but I was not convinced of that. My mother passed before my father. The 3 couples we were closest to where we lived in Oceanside, in each case, each of the 3 cases, the woman passed first. So when he passed in his sleep, he was probably as surprised as I was, but I had to ask myself, why did he pass and why am I still here? In my beliefs that are so deeply imprinted with the teachings of Flower here at Questhaven, I believe that what happens in our lives is exactly what each of us needs in our spiritual evolution. So I assumed that it was Richard's time to go. Many of you heard him say more than once that his favorite saying was, if you want to know if you've completed your purpose in life, if you're still alive, you have not. So I assume he has completed his and that I have not. And that I'm here to learn the lessons that grief has to teach and that moving ahead on my own has to teach.